Please sign into YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. Now enjoy CineTalk with the one and only CineBros.
What's up, Cinemaniacs? We are back. We are back on episode number 32. That's right, baby. 32. CineTalk, episode number 32. And what today we're going to be talking about is, we have a couple things. We're going to be talking about some trailers, some new ones, one older one, because someone that was on the show today, who hasn't been on in a little while, wanted to talk about it. So we will be talking about it. We also are going to be talking a little Han Solo, which I think is also going to be very fitting for the guest that we have on today. And then lastly, we are going to be diving into that Oscar talk and a little Razzie talk. So we're going to be talking about all that today. And who is that other person that we are going to have on the show today? And that person is none other than the Bry Man himself.
I'm back!
Yeah, baby.
Finally.
That's right.
I apologize for being away
back
for so long.
Yes, absolutely. We've been trying to get you on, and finally, he's got a very busy job, and he hasn't been able to come out on the Mondays because we usually film on Mondays. But today is Martin Luther King Day.
It is.
So I'm sure that we'll start talking about that a little bit, considering of the Oscar hashtag that's out there, the Oscars so white. I think we might be mentioning that a little bit in the last segment of the show.
Yep.
But, so what have you been up to?
Trying to get through the holidays.
Yeah.
As you know, it's been
Buying as much Star Wars memorabilia as
a
possible?
lot of that. Yes, I did. I think I told you the story the other day of how I went into Walmart and I noticed that they had a lot of Star Wars action figures.
Weird. That's weird.
Specifically a Kylo Ren one, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like, it's great. It's because it was so hard in the beginning to find Kylo Ren.
Right.
And then I'm looking through what they have there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already have all those Kylo Rens. And then I see one Kylo Ren box which has him in a different position in picture than on the other one, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have this one.
Right.
So then, I'm walking out of Walmart yet again with another Kylo Ren action
Yeah, I think you mentioned to me that you said
believe
you had to talk yourself through the purchase, and then your wife was just like, just buy it.
Whatever.
It's like $6.97.
She does not care. She knows I'm going to do it anyway. So what's, why bother? It's really not an argument worth having over $7.96. So yeah, that ended
And did
up
you
in the
only
cart.
walk out with one? Because I know you're the
Only
typical.
one, yeah.
You typically buy at least two.
Well,
So that you can have one in box.
You're right. You're right.
Or maybe
I
even a
have not
backup.
opened any of them. They're all boxed.
All boxed,
away.
huh?
Yeah. So I think I got something absurd, like 7 of that first Kylo Ren one, and like 1 of this one. And then,
7?
Yeah, I think 7 of them. And I told you about the 3 Kylo Ren Hallmark ornaments that I got. And
I got one of those, and I hung it on the tree.
3.
You have 2 boxed and
this,
one hanging on the
yes,
tree.
that's correct. Then, and this was nuts too. And I had this is how bad it is with us in Hallmark ornaments, because we just sort of lose track of what we have and what we don't have, because we love Hallmark ornaments.
Yeah.
So ever since I was growing up, my parents always had them. They kind of passed a lot of theirs on to us, when they moved down to Florida, because they don't believe in Christmas in Florida. So they just gave us their ornaments.
Is that why my parents go down there every year around Christmas?
They don't even put up a tree anymore. My parents came up and they're like, we didn't even decorate at all this year.
No.
Not at all. I'm like, well, why bother? It's 100 degrees out there. Who cares? It's not Christmas.
There's no chance of snow.
So anyways, but then I ended up buying 3. I don't even know how it happened. I bought 3 of the Darth Vader Christmas one where he's wearing an ugly sweater.
I never even saw that.
Yeah, and
I need a picture
if you
of that.
motion by him, he'll say something. I think it
That's
says,
awesome.
"I find your lack of cheer disturbing." Or
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
yeah. I've seen that. The ugly sweater. I've seen the ugly sweater of that.
Yeah.
I gotta get that one for next year.
I bought
Because he might make an appearance in Rogue One.
I think he will. Once it's out there.
He's been pretty. I wouldn't say he's heavily used in the Rebels franchise that Disney's using right now.
For a dead guy, he's very active.
Yes, he's very active.
He really is. At Kohl's right around Christmas, they had a bunch of Star Wars t-shirts, but the best one was, it's just it's supposed to be a portrait of Darth Vader, where he's he's sitting, I think, at a piano. I bought the shirt. He's sitting at a piano, almost like this, just kind of like looking at the camera like a pose.
Yeah.
And you see like a Christmas mantle and like a tree and stockings in the background. So I had to grab that. I almost wore that,
sweet.
but I was like, the holidays are behind us.
The holidays are behind us, unfortunately.
I'm just
the
trying to get
holidays are
over
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm trying to
And
get over
I'm
the
very sad
post-holiday
that
blues.
they are behind us.
I hate when Christmas is over.
But we have the wonderful upcoming holiday, Valentine's Day.
God.
But we are getting
ultimate.
Deadpool and Zoolander 2 on
That's
that
true.
weekend.
You're right.
So
You're right.
those are
We're starting to get into some
one of the best rom-coms that's
movie
ever going to
season.
hit theaters, Deadpool.
Yep.
And
And we've got Batman and Superman. What?
that's coming in a few
March?
months as well, yeah.
Is it March?
Yeah,
It's
we
March,
got
yeah.
lots of good stuff going on.
Yep.
Other than that, we're going to move right on to our first topic.
We should do that.
And that's box office.
Yes.
Boom! But actually, you know what? Before I want to talk about that, I wanted to actually go to YouTube. Subscribe to us.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our channel.
Why haven't you?
YouTube.com/themovieHouseManiacs. We have 135 subscribers. Since the last show that we did, we are up 7 subscribers. So that is phenomenal.
So basically, like, I haven't been on a show for a while, and all the numbers have improved.
Yep. Pretty much.
Okay.
That's
there's-
what's
so
happened.
there's that.
Yeah, there's that. That happened.
If it trends like backwards again after I'm on the show, you're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna have to make a hard decision.
Oh Lord. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Could be an easy decision. Actually.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. And in the meantime, just subscribe to us at youtube.com/themovieHouseManiacs.
Despite me,
You can also find us on
anyway.
Facebook, facebook.com/the CineBros. I know it's not very perfectly marketed with the different names, but we do a lot more stuff. It's not always movie. I mean, it is movie related. But we did our own trailer. My brother was the director of, and that came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And that has gotten over 1,000 views on
Really?
YouTube. Yes.
Wow, excellent.
I think it's approaching like 1,050. So yeah, it is. If you go to the YouTube channel, that's the first video that's going to pop up. You'll see it, and it's going to be glorious. It's actually you're going to watch it, and then you're going to watch our shows and stuff like that, and you're going to be wondering where all the quality went.
I was aside from the judge's tremendous
Yes.
filming job, but I was very impressed with Sir Chad's performance.
Were you now?
He was stoic and serious. He really had,
Well, he's always stoic and serious.
Can we cue up the soundbite of the laugh?
All right, so we're gonna move on to the box office. The box office, and what we do on the box office is we basically talk about the top 5 movies at the box office. And unfortunately, because we do it so early on Monday, we don't usually have the actuals, the actual box office numbers. We
Yeah.
have the estimates, but they're usually pretty close. They're usually within 500,000 to sometimes it's 1 million. If Star Wars comes out, they were off by like 7 or 8 million.
Was it really that much?
Oh, I think it might have been more than that. Yeah. And it was higher than they expected. So yeah,
That's not surprising.
so and the box office numbers for this week are: we have Ride Along 2 finishing number 1, dethroning Star Wars. The Revenant couldn't do it last week. But Ride Along 2 finished in the top spot at $34.04 million. The Revenant actually also tops The Force Awakens, and this one finished at $29.5 million. Star Wars The Force Awakens finished at $25.1. 13 Hours, the Michael Bay film about Benghazi, $16 million.
Yeah.
And in number 5 is a movie you just watched.
Yes.
And that is Daddy's Home,
Yes.
$9.3 million.
Yep.
All right. So those are anything kind of surprising about these numbers? I mean, I'm surprised that The Revenant, even in its second week, considering how brutal of a film it is still that strong in its like second week. Because I mean, it was released at Christmas, but this movie had its wide release last weekend, and not last weekend, but the week before, and then this was its second week out, and it's still doing close to 30 mil.
Do you think the studio is pissed though because The Revenant hasn't hit 1 and then like Ride Along kind of jumped over it?
No,
I mean,
I don't think
they're still holding strong, obviously, but
I don't think they're mad. I think they're really happy. I mean, because
it's good to
the
be in
movie
the top two
cost
for-
$135 million to make. The production budget.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're talking with marketing and everything. You're probably it's in that 170 range.
Yeah.
As far as like
Overall production
before, And then before it even comes close to having to start making a profit, it's going to have to get into the 200 millions. So, and I think it's going to do well here. I think it's going to do well overseas as well. The last big movie that Leo did, Wolf of Wall Street, that movie cost 100 million.
Yeah.
Another big, kind of movie, considering it's more independent side of it.
Yep.
And that one ended up making a good chunk of change. I think it broke 300 million at the box office overall, so it made a good, a considerable amount of money. And the Revenant, I think, is going to follow suit because 30 mil in its second week. That's impressive.
I don't
Most impressive.
I'm happy about because I love Kevin Hart, so I'm happy that Ride Along 2 is.
I heard it was a total shit bomb.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't good either, but I'm still happy because I like him and I want to continue to see his star rise. So I'm cool about that.
He just got to stop hooking up with Ice Cube because they don't have good chemistry together. The Ride Along one was horrible. Our Ride Along one was horrible.
It wasn't great, so I guess that's a kind of a surprise to me is that this one is number one despite the fact that the first one really wasn't all that.
I think you're seeing a huge drop. I think you're going to see like a 60-70% drop off next week.
If there is a surprise for me here, it's probably that Daddy's Home was so low. I thought that could have done a little more.
Well, I mean, the big thing is that you had Norm of the North that also came out this week. So it's actually surprising that Norm of the North, which is a kid movie, which we don't have any good kid movies because Alvin and the Chipmunks was also
it's been a while since there's been a good kid movie.
Yeah, so I mean and I don't think that's a good kid movie, but Daddy's Home staying strong in the 5th slot, especially with Ride Along 2 up there pulling all the comedy dollars.
What week is this for Daddy's Home? Is this week 2?
I think 3.
Oh, okay.
It came out in at the end of 2015.
All right. So, okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was week 2 for it, and I thought that was low. That's not as bad.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well.
Star Wars, man, that's still a pretty big number, though.
Yeah, it's been going strong since it's been a month, right?
This is week 5 or 6, right?
I think 5.
It's probably
because
5.
It came out
the
18th.
So yeah,
and then what's today? The 20th.
I think
or
today
close
is
to
the 18th.
18th. So it's been about a month. I don't know how many
18th.
weeks there has been, but in
18th,
that month frame.
So this is week 5.
Yeah.
Right
Good.
now. Yeah,
excellent.
Very impressive.
Doing well. Do you think it's going to beat Avatar?
I'm sticking with that. I still think it will.
I don't
Maybe
think
that's
it's
more
gonna
because
now.
I want it to.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be Titanic, but I don't think it's gonna be Avatar. I think it's gonna be sandwiched in between the two, and I think Disney's gonna be ecstatic with it. With those numbers.
I don't think they. How could they not be? Already, it's already the number 1 domestic of all time.
It's going to break $1 billion domestically.
It's
which is impressive.
But
that's really impressive.
What were the numbers out of China? Because I know it was released in China.
They did well, but I think the highest grossing movie ever out of China was like $330 million.
Okay,
and
so China didn't have the impact that.
But and I think Star Wars in China during its run has to make like $600 million to make it even come close to Avatar.
Oh, really?
And so it has to like double what it's done over here, and I don't think it's going to do those kind of numbers.
How far is it behind Avatar right now?
Like $1 billion.
Oh, is it really still that far?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be tough.
It's like 900 million now or something like that.
2.5 billion, and then James Cameron will re-release Titanic in April, and it'll push Titanic back over.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, the other good thing that's going to happen is that we're going to get another re-release right before Rogue One. So this is going to get re-released again next year.
Yeah.
It'll get re-released for probably a month.
Yeah.
And that's it. It'll be like 4 weeks leading up to Rogue One, and then you can watch it right before Rogue One, all that kind of stuff.
What about re-releasing it right before Episode 8 then?
They're going to do that too.
They'll do that.
They're going to be doing. They're going to. This is not where this box office total is going to end.
No, you're right.
But I don't think that because before Avatar's sequel comes out, Avatar's going to get
before
re-released.
Episode 9,
So
they'll do the 3 in 1.
Yes, they're gonna do
together.
all of these, but the big problem is that Avatar is gonna get another release too, and people are gonna go out and see that in droves as well, because people want to see Avatar too. I'm not one of those, but people do want to see Avatar too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next segment. New news, and new news is basically what we talk about is the new news that kind of happened over the last couple of days to a week. And the first little topic that we have today is about my friends right here to my right, your left, Han Solo.
Oh, glorious.
The list has come out. A short list has come out of the actors that are in up for the role of Han Solo. They're not all of them. I think there's supposed to be about a dozen, but they released, I think, 9 of them, 8 or 9 of them. And here is the list right here. Boom. So
I want to have fun with this.
I want to read a little something. Disney and Lucasfilm are inching closer to finding their young Han Solo for the upcoming entitled Star Wars spinoff. In case you didn't know, we are getting a Han Solo prequel kind of spinoff.
Yes.
In 2018. If you didn't know that, you're welcome. Anyway.
You're welcome, America.
You're welcome, America.
So anyway,
service
we're doing here.
Sources told Variety that after seeing thousands of actors, execs have finally cut the list down to about a dozen actors.
There they are.
Miles Teller, Dave Franco, Ansel Elgort, Jack Rayner, Scott Eastwood, Logan Lerman, Emre Cohen, and Blake Jenner. So out of this group, who do you like the best on this list? And do you have anybody out there else in mind to possibly play? Like, is there anybody else that's on this list that you think that might have a shot?
I want to have fun with this. I want you to guess who you think I like on this list. There is a clear number one for me.
Scott Eastwood.
Yes.
Because he looks so handsome and dashing, and he kind of has that
ridiculously good looking,
and he has that Han Solo kind of look to him.
Plus, there's a little bit of cachet with the name there, so obviously, right?
Yeah.
It's, to me, that is an easy sell.
Yeah.
An easy sell. The only issue with him is I've not seen either like the couple of movies that he's like Diablo or that other one.
Yeah.
But if we are doing the judge the book by its cover here, that's your guy right there.
Yeah.
I can tell you also who of this list I absolutely do not want.
Uh-oh.
It's the guy right above him.
Miles Teller?
Oh God, please no.
Why not? What's the matter with him?
Oh, I don't know. I just look at him. What the no. No. He'll end up being the guy that gets
So
it.
is there anybody that's out there that that's not on this that you kind of
Okay, so the only and this is just in my fantasy world of wanting all of the iconic roles that Harrison Ford has played to be played by Chris Pratt, including Indiana Jones and even a young Han Solo. I guess the only question is he actually too old now to even play a young Han Solo?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
I mean, because he's 30-ish. I mean, I think they were looking between the ages of, I think they had people as old as like 35 and as young as like 17.
But to me, see, like I'm such a huge fan of his that he is the only guy I deem worthy to play any reboots of either Indiana Jones or Star Wars where he's playing Han Solo. Yes.
See, I don't.
The only guy.
I could see him possibly pulling off Indiana Jones, but I don't see him pulling off.
Probably not. To me,
because as similar as the characters are, they're not that similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Like Indiana Jones has a little humor and jokiness to him, whereas Han Solo, he's very handsome. I don't think Chris Pratt is as handsome as he is. Like you're talking like you need someone along the lines of what's his name from A-Team, American Sniper.
What? Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. The Coops. You need someone like him who's
Bradley Cooper probably could have done it, but also probably
he's
a little too old.
He's like 40.
He would have been great 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He could have done it.
But out of this list, for me, I have 2 actors out of this list.
May I guess?
I mean,
I would like to try and guess.
Go
yours.
ahead.
I'm going to go with one of them being Jack Rayner. Mm-hmm. And the other one... All right, I'll go for the wild card, Dave Franco.
No way.
No, okay.
So the instant scratch offs for me on this list were Miles Teller and Dave Franco. One for Miles Teller and Dave Franco are both too well known.
Okay.
I don't want to see an actor and be like, I know who that is. That's not Han Solo.
Yeah.
So they are way too far well known.
I agree.
I don't like the look
that.
of Blake Jenner.
No.
As far as Han Solo goes, but even in Jack Rayner when he was in Transformers: Age of His Stinky, he actually has that kind of mannerism that Han Solo did, even in that movie.
Yep.
So he could play that sarcastic. He is handsome. He's not as handsome as Scott Eastwood, who is my second favorite.
Okay. So is Rayner your one?
Rayner, it's like 1A, 1B.
Okay.
They're both, either one of those I'd be really happy with. As far as most...
So you and I are pretty much on the same page.
Anybody but
Rayner is my 2.
Miles Teller and Dave Franco are the 2 like instant scratch-offs. Anybody else on the list, Blake Jenner is also a scratch-off. Those 5 are... Like if they picked any one of those, I'd be happy with. I just prefer some more than others. And then I also the guy I want who is kind of known, but he's not very well known through America, and that is Taron Egerton. Or Egerton, actually. He is Kingsman.
Yes.
And he also is coming up in Eddie the Eagle with Hugh Jackman. And that is who I would like to play because he has proven, for one, that he has that charisma. He has that, kind of machismo, kind of he's a badass.
Yeah.
So I like him, and I think that he could play off the role. But I think even after all of that, looking at Scott Eastwood, he's probably the most kind of, he just has that look.
Yeah, he really does.
I don't know if he can put the acting chops to Han Solo. I know Harrison Ford isn't known as the greatest thespian in the world, but he is he's a good actor, and me and Brian go back all the time. I kind of make fun of him a little bit about how he says how iconic he is. I totally agree that he is probably the most iconic character because he has Han Solo, Indiana Jones of all time.
Yes.
He kind of lucked into those roles, but he lucked very, very well.
Blade Runner, President Marshall.
Yeah, Blade Runner. That's a little
lucked into the roles.
He did.
At some
he was
point,
he was like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th on. He
when
really
he got
lucked
there,
into
did he
Indiana
make the
Jones.
most of it?
He did,
and that's all that matters.
He proved that was the right decision to make.
Now, of this list, do you think? Okay, we know who we want.
I think Scott Eastwood's the number one. I think he's number one.
Do you think so?
As of right now,
have you heard anything?
I think Taron Egerton's going to make it though. I think he's going to land the role. Out of this list, I still think that Taron Egerton's going to be the one that lands the role.
So you think he will?
Yeah. I think he's
because
he's proven that he has the best acting talent.
See, I desperately want it to be Eastwood. I have a feeling it could be Rayner, which again I'd be okay with.
Yeah, Rayner wouldn't be bad. I mean, because Rayner would be really good because he's only been seen in one movie, and it was a movie.
Right.
So
he's still he's an unknown.
He's a relatively unknown. Yeah, he's not. He hasn't been in a lot. All right, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go on to the next.
Can I ask one quick question?
Wait.
Does Eastwood's last name hurt him?
No.
Even though he's not been around.
No,
it doesn't. Okay.
No. I don't think it hurts him at all. If anything, it helps him.
Well, because if you're concerned about having a big name, his last name is still a really big name.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay.
I think if anything, it helps him. Because acting chops, you need them, and some people have them
genetically. He's probably very gifted.
Although, I mean, I wouldn't say that his father is the greatest. But he's good.
Pretty great, though.
He's a great director. All right, we're going to move on to the next segment. And the next segment is...
In or out of the movie trailer park.
In or out of the movie trailer park is where we talk about movies, the movie trailers, and if we are in or out on them based off of the trailer of these movies. So, and we kind of go back over the last 7 days or so, but this week is a little special because Brian had a trailer that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about it. And it's a little old, but we're going to talk about it. The first trailer up is 10 Cloverfield Lane. All you need to know is John Goodman is in it. And here is the synopsis. Waking up from a car accident, a young woman finds herself in the basement. Waking up from a car accident, a young woman finds herself in the basement of a man who says he saved her life from a chemical attack that has left the outside uninhabitable.
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 Good grief.
I know. I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to look down and not too. Yeah, it's bad. The struggle is real.
It's not good.
The struggle is real. I add a little spin onto this now, based on the trailer you saw.
Okay.
Are you willing to spend your money to see this opening weekend? So I add a little dollar amount to make it a little bit more, you really have to say if you're sold on this or not.
No, not if you're going to ask it that way.
No?
Yeah. Do I want to see it? Yes. Opening weekend? No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Why? What did you think about the trailer?
I liked it, but what I think one of the things that concerns me about this movie are there gonna be portions of it that really, really drag? So it looks like they're obviously in this kind of this underground, like almost like a panic room kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
That even some of the clips that they show within the trailer seem kind of boring. Like they're just, they're just doing the music in the background. I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but I would actually be a little concerned that it might be just a little bit on the boring. Like it could drag. I just could see it dragging in some spots until maybe they get out of it.
Okay.
Until they're outside and they're in the uninhabitable world.
Interesting. All right. So me, I did a reaction trailer to this. I posted it yesterday, late last night. So it might have been early this morning or something like that. I did a reaction trailer. You can find that on the channel, youtube.com/themovieHouseManiacs.
Shameless plug.
It's a shameless plug. So I watched this trailer. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I watched this trailer, and at the end of it, I've never seen Cloverfield. The first Cloverfield.
Yeah, I saw the first one.
I know it was a kind of first person or like whatever like a first person kind of like going through and doing all the shaky cam and all that kind of stuff and found like a kind of found footage-esque.
Yeah.
When I watched this, I was kind of. I started off and I was kind of grooving along with the music and everything. I was like, oh, this is great.
The music part was cool.
John Goodman, I see him. I'm like, oh, yes, John Goodman's in it. Mm-hmm. And then stuff starts to go a little wonky, a little awry. Yeah. And then you get the big kind of like shaking of the little basement thingy bunker that they're in. Yep. And, it seems kind of weird and creepy, too, because like this why are they all in this thing and all that kind of stuff. And the Chad is here. Chad's here. The Chad. Go ahead. Come on in. Pop your head in. Watch out for the camera. Watch out for the camera. Watch out for the camera.
Watch out for Chewy.
Watch out for Chewy. The Chad's here for our, we're going to be talking about our best and worst of 2015. Watch out for the cord. There you go.
He's just in time to join us to talk about.
We don't have a chair for him.
Squats.
So we when I was watching this trailer, I thought I was blown away. When this thing hit at the end, that woman's looking to get out of the bunker.
She whacks him in the head with like a white.
Oh my god! I was like, what? Why would you ever do that to John Goodman?
Why was she doing that? I couldn't figure that out either.
That? So I saw that. And then she starts trying to escape. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And she starts freaking, like John Goodman starts freaking out. He's like, don't go out there. You're going to kill us all. And I'm like, no, don't kill John Goodman. Like, that's all I cared about. I love John Goodman. Everybody that's kind of watched the show knows that I have extreme love for John Goodman. I think he's very underutilized, doesn't get used enough in movies.
Treasure.
He is amazing. I'm going to just start putting hashtag John Goodman. Needs to be in everything. Anyway, but yeah, I watched
this.
The
Chad's t-shirt is tremendous.
Knows movies.
So
wow, Chad knocked it out of the park today.
Yes, I am all in on seeing this opening weekend, and I will spend my money to go see this. I like how it's not that first person kind of shaky cam and all that kind of stuff, but so I think it's going to be.
You kind of think it's going to be a legit movie. You threw me for a loop with the way you posed the question.
Yeah,
because I was probably going to be a little more enthusiastic, and then you asked it that way, and I'm like. No, I don't need to see it opening weekend, but I do want to see it.
I want to see it opening weekend, and I want to be in the theater with everybody else kind of, screaming and cheering and like freaking out. I want to be there with everybody like that.
What do you think is going to be on the outside, waiting for them?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Godzilla?
No.
People dressed
that would be amazing.
Creepy people dressed as clowns.
That would be great.
The clown part? Or
all of it.
Godzilla and clowns?
Yes. That'd be great. That'd be horrifyingly great.
What if they walk out and what they walk out into is like the battle scene of Batman versus Superman?
That would be dumb. That would be dumb.
It would work?
That wouldn't work.
Oh, but clowns and Godzilla, we're not done.
All right. We're going on. We're moving on to the next trailer. Next trailer up is trailer number 2, Meet the Blacks with Mike Epps and Iron Mike Tyson. There's no synopsis. Thanks, IMDb. Thanks a lot.
There's no synopsis.
That's how good this movie is. There's
I think
no
we
synopsis.
Can give a pretty.
I don't think you need one.
It's a Purge spoof.
Yes.
In the scary movie vein.
All right, now I'm going to throw this out there. Money-wise, will you spend money on this movie at all? That means in the movie theater, in its entire run, when it comes out on rental, that means even $1 Redbox DVD buy, not even Blu-ray.
Yep.
So will you spend money on this? Now, it doesn't include Netflix, doesn't include like your HBO channels, doesn't include anything like that. Because those are subscription services.
This is 100% a classic Redbox rental.
You think so?
Oh my God!
So you will spend $1.06 on this.
I'll spend $1.06 on it.
I think it actually jacked up. I think it's like $1.40 now.
If you want to ask the first question, am I going to be there opening weekend?
No. I might go somewhere where there's no theaters to make sure that I don't see this movie. I would rather spend money to leave and go to some third world country and eat, crickets and bear liver and all that kind of stuff in order to stay away from this movie. This movie looks so incredibly bad.
It does.
Looks so horrible. I will not spend if I see this come on HBO or something like that, I might cancel my subscription. That's how bad this movie looks.
What's kind of disappointing is that The Purge probably would have been a pretty good thing to spoof.
It could have been.
So my wife and I, we love the scary movies.
Yeah,
they're all so
Those
ridiculous. Stupid.
can be funny. They've had a few good ones.
Most of the we love, and I'm very easy to make laugh. So I love all like the Wayans Brothers spoofs that they do, like the Paranormal Activity ones. Yeah. I think those are hilarious. This looked. I did not even with Mike Tyson in it, I was still like...
Mike Tyson was my favorite part, just because I think he could be good.
Right.
As that kind of role. I'm more anxious to see him in Ip Man 3. I want to see him
I want to see him in everything. Maybe he's on the outside waiting for John Goodman.
That would be glorious, with that little straight hair and the bald head. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it would be. He could be the new Crypt Keeper.
So you're willing to spend $1?
$1, yes.
And I am willing to leave the country.
You really are. Wow. $1.
I will pay my local movie theaters to not put it in the theater.
So you are willing to spend money?
Yes, to keep it as far away from me as possible. All right, we're gonna move on to the next trailer.
Either way, you're spending money.
I'm gonna either buy a ticket to I don't know. Who knows? Syria?
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Well, you really hate this movie. He's willing to go to the most dangerous place on earth to avoid Meet the Blacks.
So anyway, trailer number 3, Risen, starring Tom Felton and Joseph Fiennes.
Yep.
This follows, the synopsis is, it follows a biblical story of a resurrection as told through the eyes of a non-believer. Clavius, a powerful Roman military tribune, and his aide Lucius are tasked with solving the mystery of what happened to Jesus in the weeks following up to the crucifixion, in order to disprove the rumors of a risen Messiah and prevent an uprising in Jerusalem. All right, this is the trailer that Brian wanted to talk about. It's a couple months old.
Yeah,
but this is the trailer that he wanted to talk about. So, all right. So I'm gonna do this the same. No, not the same way. Will you go see this in the theater during its run?
Yes.
In the theater.
And I would do it opening weekend.
Really?
Yes. I am very excited about this movie. This was kind of one of those movies that gave me goosebumps, and I'm not. All right, so I'm a Catholic boy, but I am not what you would probably call a good Catholic. Okay, so I go to church twice a year. Anybody want to guess what those 2 times are?
Easter, Christmas.
Thank you. Tough, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was tough. That being said, I still
What else makes you a bad Catholic boy?
We don't need to get into any of that here.
Is this any 50 Shades stuff we got going on?
No. No, we'll talk about that later. I guess, right? When we talk about worst movies.
Yes. Okay.
No, but I've always sort of been drawn to biblical movies. Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments.
They're making another one of those this year. Ben-Hur.
To me, now the only thing is, I guess Joe Fiennes is probably the biggest name in this movie. So it doesn't have what you would call like major star power.
Tom Felton, man, Harry Potter.
Yeah, all right.
He was in Harry Potter quite a bit.
But so it doesn't have it. To me, it has one of those like epic story feels, but it doesn't really have the actors in it to sort of back it up. But I love the story of the resurrection. I do love Easter. That was actually always my favorite holiday growing up, despite how much we all love Christmas. And so I am very, very much looking forward to seeing this. I think I think this will be a really cool story, and I kind of like how they sort of posed it in the trailer as, I think they called it the most important manhunt of all time.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of it as a manhunt because I never looked at it from that perspective. But I think that's kind of one of the things I like about the movie is I like the perspective. They say this is coming from a non-believer. So there are a lot of things in this that appeal to me. And I do actually like Joe Fiennes, and I look forward to seeing that struggle that he's going to have in this, where he's clearly trying to come at this from like a logical perspective, like, okay, who moved the tomb wall? Who took the guy's body? Where is he?
Right.
All right. Don't give me any of this resurrection crap. We know he didn't just walk out.
Right.
So I look forward to kind of like seeing that sort of twist in it.
Okay.
But yes, opening weekend, and my wife is in the same boat. She's like, yeah, I totally can't wait to see that.
All right. I watched this. And as I was watching it, I started slowly slipping into a coma. I was so I was watching this trailer, and I was like, oh, this could be a good story.
Yeah.
I like, kind of even like Swords and Sandals, epics, kind of movies. I love those kind of movies. Has that feel to it. But I have a feeling this could potentially be an extreme snooze fest.
Yeah.
I think they could have shown a lot of the kind of, I don't know, thriller kind of suspense kind of moments in the movie. And I wasn't really blown away. It just didn't look like the cinematic quality was there. It seems like it's going to be a very low budget movie, which is fine. There are, good, especially with the Swords and Sandals pick, you can do that very, very well on a low budget because the costumes probably don't cost that much.
No, right.
You're not wearing much clothing.
Right.
You're wearing a lot of old school kind of, drapes and stuff. So there's not a lot of, money that needs to get put into it, except if you want to do a lot of marketing or if you want to get the star power.
Yeah.
This doesn't have all that star power, but I do like the fact that Tom Felton is in it. Okay. I thought that he looked pretty good in it. As far as spending any money on this, I would probably lead towards a rental. I would not see this in the theater, most likely, unless we got a screener for it. Got a screener for it, but that's free. Yeah. So it's just a matter of buying popcorn. And
so this is Redbox for you. You're Redboxing this.
I would possibly, because I watched I think it was Merlin and Arthur, or Arthur and Merlin, which is based on the relationship of King Arthur and the magician Merlin. And so I watched that, and that was not done great. The second half was a lot better than the first half. They could have shortened the first half a lot better and made it a much better, more fun kind of. I don't know. It just would have been a much better movie. The special effects in it weren't that great, which I wasn't expecting great special effects because I think it had like a $3 million budget or something. So, but with that being said, I think this will have more quality. But I'm not sold that it's going to be something that is going to keep people transfixed with the whole time. Like Passion of the Christ was amazing because it just was brutal, and you couldn't, as much as you were looking at the screen and didn't want to look at the screen, you kind of didn't want to miss anything too, because you kind of want to do whatever you can to just see what he went through, even though it's not, it's probably just about as true to the story as Braveheart is. It's a Mel Gibson movie, but he does a great job of capturing the magic, the movie magic. So I might buy it as a rental. Do you at least think that the perspective? I like the way you described it. The way that you described it wasn't a way I was really thinking about it. So to me, that made me lean towards rental.
To me, that's kind of one of the original aspects of it, because again, there are many movies about Jesus. But I haven't really seen one that kind of comes at it from this angle of, okay, so he's been, a lot of movies like this sort of end with the crucifixion. Right. This is after that. Yeah.
That is, the crucifixion, this is seems like that's going to be in the first act. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. That's for sure.
Well, I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, you'll let me know how it is opening night. Maybe we'll go to a screener together and we'll check it out. And then maybe I can rip it afterwards.
I know there are some. It just started with the screeners.
When does it?
Mid-February, I think.
Mid-February?
I want to say February 16th for some reason. But
February 16th?
I don't know if that's right.
All right. The next trailer up is Hail Caesar. This is directed by the Coen brothers. It has an all-star cast. I'm not going to really get it. A bunch of people: ScarJo, Clooney, and a bunch of other people that you've seen. What is it? Tanning Tatum? Is that what you call him, Chad? Tanning Tatum. Yeah.
I'm not paying attention.
So this is the synopsis is this. It's very short and sweet. A Hollywood fixer in the 1950s works to keep the studio stars in line. All right, man. We're going to say, I'm going to give you, for Hail Caesar, 2 weekends. The first 2 weekends that is in theater. Will you spend money to go see this movie? Go.
Yeah, weekend 2. But yes, I would. It looked good. I actually, the funny part about this movie is I'm kind of more interested in... What we saw in the trailer was cool, but I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those movies that is just loaded with hilarious cameos. Even ones that we did not see,
right?
And so I'm looking forward to that. It looks good. I'm not gonna run first weekend to see it,
right?
But yeah, I'd pay to see this.
The first trailer that came out, I saw, and I was kind of, I didn't really care for it. I saw it, I was like, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about it. I'll go see it because it looks like it's going to have its funny moments, but didn't really like the way George Clooney looked. It seemed like it was focusing too much on him, which he looks like he's playing like a parody of his Oh Brother, Where Out There character. It's just like a dumber version of that. And so I wasn't really transfixed by the movie with that particular trailer.
Okay.
This trailer with the Ralph Fiennes and I don't know who the other actor is, when they were going back and forth.
Yeah.
I was laughing hysterically just trying to get those lines because I remember just going through the trailer and everything like that. Me and my brother going back and forth. He's like, say it like this. And I'm like, say it like this. Say it like this. And we were going back and forth and I'm like trying. So it's like it brought like humor to kind of like reality kind of deal. And it's like you can see how people have a very particular way that they want something to be done. And when they can't really meet on the same paths, it's frustrating. But when you're watching it from like outside, it's kind of humorous, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. And that it right there itself sold me on this movie about seeing opening weekend. Yeah. I definitely in the first 2 weeks, if I can't do it, because I don't know what it's coming out against, but definitely 2 weeks, I will definitely do my best to see it.
They're screening it. So if it comes local.
Yeah. I would love to see that. Yeah. Because I would say there's, like a 75% chance that I'm going to like a Coen brother movie. Yeah. I like their movies. I think that they do a good job. They've done a lot.
They get star power.
They have a lot of star power, which isn't usually the best. I mean, there's a lot of flops. I mean, movie 43 had a lot of star power in it. That was one of the biggest disasters ever. Right. I actually didn't mind the movie. I thought it was kind of funny. But I could see how people could hate that movie. Chad fell asleep when we watched it last Oscar party. We turned it on afterwards, and he was out within the first 10 minutes. 43. Yeah. He was out in the first 10 minutes, and he loves Chris Pratt too. And Chris Pratt he fell asleep during Chris Pratt's scene.
One day drinking.
Yeah. It was several hours of drinking. A very boring Oscars show. So there was a lot of things that played a part there. So, all right, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go into our next segment.
It's time for Random Rants and Rave Reviews.
Random Rants and Rave Reviews.
Was that me or Blade?
That's you and him.
Oh, was it?
That's you and him together. So he does
nice.
He does Random Rants, and you say Rave Reviews.
Oh, nice.
And what we're gonna talk about is not this, but the Random Rants and Rave Reviews. All right, so we are going to, isn't that glorious?
It's something. Who settled on that?
I did. That's right, baby. Random Rants and Rave Reviews.
I feel like you should get me like that. Stuff like that.
You want to do it? We could do that. We don't. You don't have to go topless. We can just get you in a cape.
Are these proportions accurate? Is it
pretty accurate?
Wow, that's quite the bulge you got there, Chad. Look at that.
Does it mean when they say hang them up by their Buster Browns?
Oh, God.
All right, so what we're going to be talking about during Random Rants and Rave Reviews.
Going to be for the intro.
We should do the BVS the Dawn of Justice, and you could be Batman. Perfect.
Who was you
could be Superman?
What was the wrestler's name in Billy Madison? The revolting blob.
The revolt.
Oh, Billy Madison. Oh, gosh.
That's the revolting blob, basically.
All right, and what we're going to be
Did you notice
talking
that when
about...
I tapped my head, it was really hot? There was like a hollow
Yeah,
noise.
it was. It was like had echo to it.
Wow.
It had some echo.
I
That
hope
was
that's
good.
just the microphone. And
It's just early.
Not
That's all.
the-
You haven't given yourself enough brain power yet.
yeah, that's it.
Brain
I don't
food.
think that's how it works.
All right, we're going to be talking Oscars.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so first thing up, I'm going to go run through
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that, huh? It's a little dark, but whatever. Oscar talk. We're going to start off. I'm going to read through the list. So I'm going to start off with Best Picture. I'm going to read through the list, who's on there. We're going to talk about who we think's going to win, who we want to win,
Yes.
and if we think that there's anybody missing from this list.
Okay.
All right. First one up. Best Picture. We have Brooklyn,
We're starting
The
heavy.
The Revenant, Mad Max Fury Road, The Big Short, Spotlight, Room, The Martian, and Bridge of Spies.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite to win? We'll go your favorite, my favorite, who you want to win, who I want to win, and then if there's anybody missing.
First up is
Anything
who I
missing.
think will win.
Yes. Who do you think is going to win for Best Picture?
This Oscars, to me, I think is going to be, like many others, a coronation, and I think The Revenant is going to do some serious house cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't win the Critics' Choice last night. I think Spotlight won. The Golden Globe, it won the Golden Globe.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily the
No,
best.
I know it's not.
but-
It's not a predictor by any stretch, but I do think it's now. Keep in mind, as I told you earlier today, I still haven't even watched it yet.
Right.
But I still think it's going to win because
There's only one person here that I know that's definitely watching that. Is Chad. And we'll talk about that later in our best and worst of 2015. So you're the one that you think is going to win is the Revenant.
I think The Revenant.
The one that I think is going to win, I think, is Spotlight. I think Spotlight's going to end up taking the cake on this one. I think that there is just, I think The Revenant, this is the way that I think it's going to go. I think if The Revenant wins Best Picture, I think Best Director is going to go to McCarthy. That's who directed Spotlight? McCarthy. And then if Spotlight wins for Best Picture, then I think the Best Director might go to Inarritu.
Okay.
But I'm leaning towards Spotlight. I think Spotlight has the most momentum as far as winning for Best Oscar.
Okay.
Best Picture. Who do you want to win? Who do you want to win this
I
round?
want Spotlight to win.
You want
Because
Spotlight to
Spotlight
win?
was unbelievable. I was hooked from the very beginning of that movie right to the end.
New news, you guys.
Okay, go ahead. As you're saying, who you wanted to win?
Spotlight, I guess.
So I mean, who I want to win, the thing that I want to win is The Big Short. I watched that movie just a few days ago and was blown away by it, and I would
heard it was
love
great.
to see that done. And then do you think that there's any movies missing from this list?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Star Wars. I mean, as far as movies from this list,
I'm only half kidding, by the way.
I mean, you could make an argument for Star Wars. I mean, it was
Epic.
it was a very fun movie. There was minor flaws with it, and cinematically it was gorgeous. The story was told pretty darn good, considering it covered 30 years.
Yeah.
So you could definitely make a case for it. I don't think there's much missing from this list. I'm glad to see that The Danish Girl isn't in here, because I watched that and I thought that movie wasn't that great. I thought it was okay, I'm pleased with this list. I have no real
What
qualms.
was that about? Was that like about a girl who goes out to get pastries in the morning? Like, what is that about? Or is
Do you really want to know?
No.
It's about the first transgender person who ends up getting the sex change.
Oh, now I kind of
In
look
the
like a dick. Huh?
in the 1931, he got an operation done to become a she.
Okay.
And there was a complicated relationship between him and his wife,
All right.
but they both still cared for each other, and she supported him through the whole thing. So
Okay.
it's a pretty touching movie, but we'll get into that more as we go into the
How much
the best
touching?
actor. Lots of. I couldn't believe the nudity in this movie. I was watching this movie and I was like, holy crap! Like
Yeah.
you have Alicia Vikander, who's in it. She like just drops trousers like in the first act of the movie, like several times. You're kind of like, holy crap, like this is crazy. And then even Eddie Redmayne, he bears it all for a good second or two.
Right.
Yeah, it's an intense movie and definitely not shy. That's for sure.
Okay.
So anyway, we're gonna get into the best actor.
Yes, please.
Well, we're going back to the Danish Girl. So, best actor. Here we go. First one up is Trumbo's Bryan Cranston, The Martian's Matt Damon, Steve Jobs, Michael Fassbender, The Danish Girl's Eddie Redmayne, and The Revenant's Leonardo DiCaprio. The question is up. Who do you think is going to win Best Actor at the Oscars?
Your boy's getting his crown.
You think so?
Oh my God!
You haven't seen the movie yet.
Like I told you, this is coronation week at the Oscars for The Revenant.
Okay.
He's gonna win. There's no doubt he's gonna win.
That sure.
I
huh?
mean, if I were a gambling man, and I am not, I would put a lot of money on it.
See, I think that the person that is leading the charge right now is Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs. He was amazing in that movie. He really did a phenomenal job. Now, this is with being said that I have not seen The Revenant yet. So I don't know. I don't know how great Leo's performance was. I expect it to be phenomenal because I just think that's who he is. He's just a phenomenal talent. But Michael Fassbender is, I think, leading the charge. I think he's the one that is going to win. I'm very sad that Eddie Redmayne is in here because I thought that he was outacted by Alicia Vikander, almost in circles, especially for the first two acts of the movie. The third act, Eddie Redmayne really showed his chops and did an amazing job. But during the first two acts of the movie, I thought that he was...
I don't want to drag this out, but I'm calling bullshit on this because I think for sure you believe that Leo's going to win.
Not right
Even
now.
not having seen it. I haven't seen it either,
Now,
and I guarantee you he's going to win.
And well, this is the thing. Who do I want to win? I want Leonardo
we know you
DiCaprio
want
to
Leo to
win.
win.
I just, right now, the movies that I've seen, Michael Fassbender was amazing. The best performance I have seen in like 2 years. He was that good in Steve Jobs. I haven't seen Leonardo DiCaprio's performance yet. I think it's going to be great, but I don't know how great. So I'm just saying, as of right now, I think Michael Fassbender wins without seeing the
So you and I are flip-flop.
But I think you think that Michael Fassbender...
Because I want him to win.
Okay.
But also partially because I want to see the pain of...
Don't worry, I think
to go on and on with
I
like
think
Leo just becoming the greatest to never win. I
Fassbender's-
want him to be your Dan Marino because nobody knows that pain except for a Dolphin fan. Only Dolphin fans know the pain of Dan Marino, the best to never win a championship.
What about Jim Kelly? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. That's sad.
By the way, can we, on a serious note for Jim Kelly, he is now cancer-free. Awesome.
Great. Yeah. I always throw the hashtag out there, fuck cancer.
Yes, fuck
because
cancer,
I
dude.
cannot. Such a bad disease.
Cancer's had a pretty horrible week here.
Alan Rickman.
And Bowie. And then even
like,
Lemmy a few weeks ago.
I mean, it's been terrible. I wish we could just get a cure.
Cancer.
I wish we could get a cure for that. That's just. All right, we're gonna go on to the next. So we already did who we want to win.
Yes.
Do you think anybody's missing from this list?
Tom Hanks.
That you can think of anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, Hanks, actually.
You think so for the Bridge of Spies? Did you
Yeah.
see it? You saw it?
Yeah. It was awesome. I actually remember walking out thinking, "Uh-oh, is it going to be another?"
I would gladly replace Tom Hanks. I would rather gladly replace Eddie Redmayne for Tom Hanks. I think that Tom Hanks it wasn't his greatest performance, but he did a very good job. And I don't think he would win. I don't think he would have a chance. But I do think that he did a better job than Eddie Redmayne did.
I don't know much about Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne's was just more controversial.
I just don't want Eddie Redmayne to be the guy like Hanks who won back to back.
I don't think he has. I don't really think he has that big of a shot.
For a couple of movies that I've never seen. I mean, at least when Hanks won, it was Philadelphia and for Forrest Gump, two phenomenally epic all-time movies.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia was more about his performance. I mean, the movie was obviously very important and very good, but his performance
He was good.
in that movie was sick. Forrest Gump was a great performance that he completely made the character, but the movie itself was also great.
Yeah.
Like just an unbelievable movie. from start to finish. No.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
All right, I couldn't tell.
I didn't know if you were done.
I guess I'm done now. I just wanted to.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
I just
to
wanted
the
to point out the obvious.
We're
that
gonna move
Forrest
on.
Gump was a great
We're
movie.
gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next movie. The next topic here. But by the way, Forrest Gump shouldn't have won Best Picture that year.
What should have?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next one. Next one up is Best Actress in a leading role, and we have Room's Brie Larson, Brooklyn's Saoirse Ronan, 45 Years Charlotte Rampling, Joy's Jennifer Lawrence, and Carol's Kate Blanchett. Anybody? Who do you think's gonna win?
Okay, so I've seen none of these.
None of them.
No, zero.
Okay.
I can tell you who I don't want to win. I do not want Jennifer.
I know
Lawrence
who the
to win.
favorite
Shocking.
is. Yeah, you and your girl J Law.
I think I want Kate Blanchett to win because I like her in general.
She is a phenomenal actress. She is probably, between her and Kate Winslet, they are probably the top two right now, other than Meryl Streep.
So I want her to win, and I'm actually going to say I think she will win.
Okay, I think that would be an upset.
This
I think that would be an
some
upset.
ridiculous guessing based on the fact that I've seen none of these.
I think that would be an upset because as of right now, I think that Brie Larson will win.
Okay.
I think
fair
that
enough.
she is. I think she is the hands down favorite.
Which one is she?
The one all the way that you're pointing at right now.
She's hot.
She is a very attractive girl, but she's also very talented, and so I think that she's gonna win. Who I want to win
Don't say
is
Jennifer Lawrence.
I would be okay with Brie Larson or Kate Blanchett. Either one of those two. There's some talks out there that Charlotte Rampling, who did. Who's this girl?
She looks so tired. Do you call her a girl?
Yes, she is a female.
That is a fully aged woman.
You think so?
That's a lady
Really?
right there.
I don't see it.
That is a.
She's a ma'am? Is that what you're saying? She's a ma'am.
If she were a 7 dwarf, she would definitely be sleepy. She just looks tired. She's like, don't take my picture. I just want to take a nap. I want tea and a nap.
Oh my God. All right. So, what do you? So you want?
Oh,
you think you want Kate
yeah.
Blanchett? I'd be okay with Brie. Or do you think anybody's missing from this list? Missing.
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley. You'd be okay with saying that. She was phenomenal. She was very good.
Actually, yeah, why not her? She could.
Who would you replace? A J Law?
I mean, I don't know. Any of them, I guess.
Well, you can't
How
take
about
Brie.
Sleepy? How about Sleepy?
Sleepy.
You can't take J Law out because you need this. You need the big name.
You think so?
Yeah, you always gotta have at least one in there. I mean, Kate's a big name, but J Law's obviously a monster. Yeah, either Sleepy or her. She looks indifferent to me.
We're going to talk about the next one, which is Best Supporting Actor.
This is a brutal category.
Best Supporting Actor.
Brutal.
We have Bridge of Spies, Mark Rylance.
Brutal.
The Big Short's Christian Bale. The Revenant's Tom Hardy. Creed's Sylvester Stallone. And Spotlight's Mark Ruffalo. Great list here. Great list. This is
so brutal.
This is the toughest list I think there is right now.
No doubt. Without a doubt. This is actually harder than Best Picture, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is just, oh my God.
So who do you want to win out of this list? No, who do you want to win? Who do you think's going to win? Come on, deep breaths and sighs. Let's go.
All right, so I haven't seen The Revenant, and I haven't seen what was this for Big Short, right?
Yes, The Big Short. And Spotlight you haven't seen either, right?
No, I did.
Oh, you did see it? Oh.
This is the category is brutal for me more on the who I want to win side.
Okay.
But I've seen 3 of the performances, and of the 3, all right, I'll go with Ruffalo.
Okay.
For who I think will win.
All right.
I desperately want Sly to win. Desperately. I want him to have, to me, this is like a come full circle. It's the closing out. I don't know if it's actually the closing out of Rocky, but
he has the longest time frame in between nominations.
I mean, and just for him to, for this role and for the whole, for it to still be relevant is just great.
And it's the best he's ever done as Rocky.
Great. And he was unbelievable. He was so good.
So
his pace in that movie was perfect.
He did an amazing job.
It was so perfect. But I'm also
He
torn.
made Michael B. Jordan, not Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan. He made him look as an okay actor at times. Sylvester Stallone destroyed this role.
Oh, it was unreal.
Destroyed it.
But
I'd have been so bummed if he didn't.
But this is kind of like a weird three-way split for me because I will be really happy if Rylance wins because he was unbelievable in that role.
That's who I think is going to win.
And maybe he is the favorite. And
I think that he's going to win.
That's fine. And I've always loved Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
always
me too.
loved him.
I think he's an amazing actor. I think all of these actors up here are phenomenal talents. I think that Sly Stallone is he is very underrated as an actor. I think he's a brilliant man, but people can't get past the way he talks. But you listen to the words that come out of his mouth, and he is a smart man.
Oh, he's
and I think
his quote at the Golden Globes was
he was great.
What did he say? He said, like basically we're kind of we're like bits and pieces sort of everybody that we ever come into contact with. Although he said it much more eloquently. I don't think he used bits and pieces. But the way he said it was
twigs and berries of everyone.
You know what? It was a beautiful quote.
Yeah,
it really was,
it was
like about humanity in general. He's just his
imaginary friend Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. I really hope. I really hope. I mean, I know that maybe that's almost in a way kind of selfish because like there are so many worthy guys who have not won an Oscar. And Sly has an Oscar, so not for acting, but I mean, there are so many guys here who deserve.
So I think Mark Rylance is going to win. I haven't seen Tom Hardy's performance. I've heard it's phenomenal. In the movie The Revenant.
He's the bad guy in it, right?
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, I don't really know too much about the story because I've only watched one trailer.
He's the bad guy,
but
right?
he's the guy that he's the guy that Leonardo DiCaprio is going after. Okay. So he's one of the guys that Leonardo DiCaprio is going after, or the main guy that he's going after.
I think from the bear attack, right?
Right.
From the trailers, he's the bad guy.
Okay, all right.
So, I as of right now, out of the people that I've seen, I think Rylance. I think he did a better job than Sly did as Rocky Balboa in Creed. But as far as who I want to win, I want Sylvester Stallone to win. I really want him to win just because
who doesn't want him?
He's
to win?
not going to have many more chances. Rylance is a brilliant actor and he picks his roles pretty good. So there's a chance that he's
very stylish.
Yes, he is very. They got the flowy hair out underneath the
hat with sort of the droopy bow tie.
Yeah, he looks good. The guy I think is missing from this list, and it's because I think that Christian Bale did a very good job as in his performance in The Big Short. But after watching Beast and No Nation, I do think that Idris Elba should be in that role. I think he should be in that spot. That is the only one that I would really
I didn't see
throw in that. You can find it on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie.
Oh, all right. All right.
But it was able to be nominated.
Okay.
So that's a movie that I would probably. Those are the two that I would switch out. So all right, we're gonna go on to the next one. That is the Best Supporting Actress, and that is Alicia Vikander's performance in The Danish Girls. Spotlight's Rachel McAdams, Carol's Rooney Mara, Steve Jobs, Kate Winslet, and The Hateful Eight's Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Also very difficult.
This is going to be a good one. This is
very
very
difficult.
This is going to be a tough one. I'm not even really sure who I think's going to win. I as of right now, if I had to lean towards someone, I would say Alicia Vikander because she, like I said over and over and over again, she outacted Eddie Redmayne in that movie, and Eddie Redmayne got a Best Oscar nom. Best Actor nom. The person I want to win is Kate Winslet for her performance in Steve Jobs because she nailed that accent that nobody has ever really been to pin down because it's just all over the place in real life, and she was able to destroy that accent. She did a great job keeping Steve Jobs under control, and I would have liked to see more of her in the movie, but I think she did a great job. But I haven't seen The Hateful Eight, I haven't seen Carol, I haven't even seen Spotlight, so those are the kind of the two movies that I've seen right now. And as of right now, that's who I would go with. What about you?
We're on the same.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she'll win, and I want Kate Winslet to win.
She's she's going to be the new Meryl Streep. But she's going to get nominated almost every year.
But if you think about that role,
if she would just ever get out of those insurgent movies.
If you think about the role that she played in Steve Jobs, she was his support.
Yeah.
She was the support. Like, she deserves to be the best supporting actress.
The inbox support.
The very definition of support was, that her performance was, to me, just as great as his.
Yeah. Do you see anybody missing from this list? Anybody that you have come across that's missing?
What's her name that played Captain Phasma?
Jesus. Oh.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, where's her nom?
Yeah, come on.
Sit on the couch.
Oh, man.
Why did I put Harrison Ford under the best supporting? He should have been there.
Over who?
Oh, over Christian Bale. Come on.
You know, he might have been the male lead of that movie.
Yeah, maybe.
He might have.
More than Boyega?
I think so. I think it was more Han's film.
It turned into that because...
Well, we can't get into anything spoilers or anything like that. But
no.
I think that it was his movie. It just seemed like it was his movie. It was kind of meant to be about him. I think this movie was more about him than any of the other movies. It was the
talk. I mean, after it was over, that was the talk of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is it two?
You have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
Why?
You can't spoilers.
Star Wars.
No way.
5 weeks. We are on week 5.
You can't do it.
Good grief.
We can't do it.
People are so sensitive.
I'll have to take that out. All right, so we had a little spoiler. So we clipped that out, and we will keep moving on.
Keep it up until
I'll just like. Boop.
I mean, they kill. Yeah.
No, I think that'll be too obvious.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna move on. Move on to the next one here, and that is Best Director. Best Directors. We have Room's Lenny Abramson, Mad Max Fury Road's George Miller, The Big Short's Adam McKay, The Revenant's Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, and The Spotlight's Tom McCarthy.
2 of these things are not like the rest.
So, who do you think is going to win for Best Director? Best Director.
This is going to be one of those ones where what I want and what I think are going to be the same.
Okay.
Who I think will win and who I want to win. Some of this is probably some wishful thinking, but I really think George Miller.
Really?
Yes.
That would be a big upset, I think.
It would be a massive upset.
But that's who you want and who you think is going to win? You think they're going to pay respects to the job that he did?
That movie was, to me, all about directing. It really was.
It was. They did
because
a great
it
job.
wasn't that much about screenplay. It wasn't. No. I mean, if you want to talk about like dialogue and that wasn't the strength of the movie. To me, the strength of the movie was how well choreographed and put together it was, and all of the. I mean, just it was. But there was everything in that movie.
The absurd chaos.
I mean, really, like to me, that's kind of a once. I don't want to call it a once in a lifetime movie, but that was an unbelievable production, and to have helmed that could not have been easy. It really couldn't have. I mean, just all the different elements that you were dealing with there. I really want to believe that he's going to win. I want to believe that Hollywood, that they're going to recognize that effort.
Okay. I think who I think's going to win. I think McCarthy is going to win,
which I'd be okay with because Spotlight was so phenomenal.
Who I want to win, and this is going to be tough for my Oscar picks when we do this, when the Oscar party that's coming up this year. Who I want to win is Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu for The Revenant. I want him to win. I want The Revenant to have those. I'm planning on getting the poster, and I'm going to put it on my Leo wall with him with his frosty beard.
Can't you see it first before you get the poster?
No. That poster is magnificent. That is
in fairness, I had like all kind of Kylo Ren shit before I even started.
That is my favorite poster of the year. That is my favorite poster of the year. That look on his face of just like fear and being pissed off, and his frosty beard, and just the picture in the background. I love that poster. It's my favorite poster of the year.
Is that the one? Is he holding the gun too?
And it's just a picture of his face.
Just his face?
Yeah,
okay.
It's just his face. It's amazing. I love it. So I'm planning on getting that one. That's going to be in the next addition to the Leo wall. Right. So yeah, those are who I want. And who do you think anybody was left off this list?
Don't worry, I'm not going to say JJ. No, I don't think so. Actually, well wait a minute.
And
hold on.
this is something I haven't seen Room, but I am going to say I would like to take off Abramson, and I would like to put on Steven Spielberg for his directorial efforts in Bridge of Spies, because I thought really appreciated what he did.
Yeah.
I thought that there was a couple of humorous points, and I really liked the way he did it. I thought that it was impactful. I thought that he told the story amazingly. I loved the way that he and him and his relationship with Tom Hanks, how they get the best out of each other.
Yeah.
Some people thought that it didn't have that Steven Spielberg magic, but I did. I really was I was so just overwhelmed. I loved that movie. When I left, I was like, "Ooh, Rylance is winning. Hanks is getting nominated. Spielberg's getting nominated. Best Picture getting nominated." I was like dead set on it.
I think you and I were both feeling that.
Granted, that was months ago.
It was,
but, and some great movies have come out since. But yeah, I would like to see Spielberg in that definitely for sure.
I would second that.
All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the Oscars. Oscars so white. Look at this picture right up here. A lot of white faces up there. Yeah. So the hashtag Oscar So White has been going around there. And I have some quotes from some people. The first one up is producer of Straight Outta Compton, Will Packer. And he said, "We have to do better, period." He said, "The reason the rest of the world looks at us like we have no clue is because in 2016, it's a complete embarrassment to say that the heights of cinematic achievement have only been reached by white people. I repeat, it's embarrassing. It's unfair to performers of color who have sacrificed so much, laid it all on the line, and delivered with their project this year. It's also unfair to the white actors, writers, producers, and it's marred by the fact that a lack of diversity calls into question the legitimacy of the Academy's choices." Then we had Ice Cube, who said, "I'm not pissed. I'm not surprised. It's the Oscars. They do what they do. The people love the movie. The people supported the movie. It was #1 at the box office, over 200 million worldwide. I can't be mad, you know?" And then we have, lastly, Chris Rock, who is hosting the Oscars this year. And he said, I could totally hear him, he said this, and I could totally hear him saying this, is the Oscars. I could see him saying this at the Oscars. The Oscars. The white BET Awards. So, usually I'm kind of on the side of them. I don't really see where Straight Outta Compton fits into this. I liked Beasts of No Nation. I thought the only one that they really got snubbed, maybe the kid who was in that was really, really good. I would have liked to seen maybe him get a leading, but with the people that were in there, I don't think he did better than the leads that were up. But Idris Elba maybe as a supporting actor. The movie wasn't good enough to be in Best Picture. Straight Outta Compton wasn't good enough to be in Best Picture. None of the actors in that movie were good enough to be in Best Picture. There's no original songs, nothing like that. So I don't know where they're really great. I mean, it was a good movie, but it wasn't great. So
Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah. So I
still haven't seen
both
it.
of those
It's
movies,
on my list.
Beasts of
On my
No
short
Nation,
list.
the ones that I don't see how they have that many gripes this year.
Yeah.
Maybe John Boyega as a supporting, but I don't even think he was better than the supporting guy. I mean, that list was stacked. I think the biggest gripe that we have to complain about is there's not enough African Americans in movies. I think that's your biggest complaint now.
That would be the more legitimate
because
argument.
the more people that you have that are of color or diversity, the better chance that you're going to get somebody nominated. So
well, I wonder if that's part of the argument too. Is
I wish they just said that.
Is it? Yeah, like is he saying, well, I feel like African American actors are not getting enough opportunities.
That's probably more accurate.
And that is probably a more legitimate gripe than. But I mean,
I love that John Boyega originally wasn't supposed to be a black character. He was cast as a white character.
Yeah.
Like, there was a white character that was supposed to be in that suit.
Yeah.
They saw John Boyega's performance and put him in that role.
Right.
And that is one of those movies that got like trash. People were backlash like crazy when they said that they had no diversity. It was all white and all that kind of stuff. And one of their main leads was John Boyega. Yeah. And he did a great job.
Yeah.
And Lupita Nyong'o, who was Maz Kanata, she did a very good job too.
Yeah, she did.
Granted, it was motion capture, but that you don't, when it comes to black, white, Asian, Hispanic, all that kind of stuff, you don't need to be. Your skin doesn't have to be out there. You're just putting out your performance.
Right.
So I thought that was. I think this year is tough, but I think overall in the grand scheme, we just need more.
Yeah.
more people of color
Yeah.
in the picture.
I agree.
I'm surprised that
sort
Ice
of-
Cube's quote was so. His quote was so kind of like, considering he was part of that group NWA, and then he's just like, whatever. We were at the World box office. We were
No, I
made
like
a bunch of
what
money.
Right. No, I like what he said. I don't love the whole white BET awards. I mean, that's Chris. I think Chris Rock has been.
He's gonna
Chris
deliver
Rock.
that, and he's gonna get a lot of laughs.
He will.
I laughed when
He
I
will.
heard that.
But I almost feel like there's sort of like an impression that came from this that African American actors and actresses have not been recognized
Right.
in Hollywood, that's not fair. I mean, even in recent years, Forrest Whitaker won Best Actor, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Obviously, Denzel's won his fair share.
He's got a couple, right?
He's got 2 or 3.
I think he's got a supporting.
He's
and
got
best.
a supporting and a best.
Yeah.
So it's not. And listen, I haven't gone back and look historically at like the last 10 years as to who has been nominated, but I would be willing to bet that there are certainly a fair share of African American actors and actresses who have, hey Chris, who have been nominated for leading roles and supporting roles.
Yeah.
All right, I have a snub for you because I love Kevin Hart so much. How about Kevin Hart in The Wedding Ringer?
Would you have that sad trombone anywhere?
But he was so funny.
He was good. He was good. Josh Gad was better though.
Josh Gad. See, you're the problem.
I'm the problem. I'm the problem. I thought that Josh Gad did a better job, and
The white guy was way better than the black guy.
Right. Yeah. Mother Bick Mitchell, mother.
all right. Now we're talking. You got the laugh in there.
Laugh with the actual
Excellent.
laugh in the background.
Excellent. Now we're going to be talking about the Razzies real quick. We're going to gloss over this, give ourselves about 3 minutes. We're going to talk about Worst Picture, and then we're going to kind of give our opinions on it. Worst Picture, Razzies, Fantastic Four, 50 Shades of Grey, Jupiter Ascending, Paul Blart 2, and Pixels.
Pixels
Which
does
one
not
do you,
belong on this list.
I agree with you. What do you think? What do you think doesn't belong? Obviously, Pixels. And what do you think does belong on here?
Oh God, either of those top 2, either Fantastic Four or 50 Shades of Grey.
You don't. You think that they're going to win, but what do you think? What do you think doesn't belong on this list?
I don't think Pixels belongs on the
What
list.
do you think does in its place?
Oh, how about Mordecai?
I think you could take out Paul Blart 2 and Pixels because I don't think Paul Blart was a good movie. It wasn't good at all.
Everybody knew that, though.
It was bad. It was a bad movie, but it wasn't as bad as Seventh Son, and it wasn't as bad as Mordecai. It wasn't as bad as a bunch of films, but the problem is some of those other films nobody saw, like The Transporter Refueled. Nobody saw that movie. So
Right.
Paul Blart 2 made a lot of money.
I mean, any
Pixels
movie,
made a decent amount of money.
any movie with WWE.
I don't think
talent in it.
Fantastic Four belongs on it either.
Condemned
It wasn't
or
a good.
12 rounds 3.
I don't think
anything with John Cena. No, I take that back.
I don't think Fantastic Four belongs on this list. I don't think Jupiter Ascending belongs on this list. There are so many worse films than those. 50 Shades of Grey, I understand. I loved the film because I thought it was so bad that it was funny. It's like a really bad movie that's hilarious. That's what I thought about 50 Shades of Grey. So I can understand why it's on the list. But a lot of these movies I don't understand. The next one up is...
So would you say that unanimously between the two of us, basically Fantastic Four is probably...
I don't think it belongs on the list.
Oh, no?
I watched it. It wasn't the worst movie I saw. It wasn't even close.
Okay.
That I saw this year. So yeah, I mean, and I saw 80 films. So I mean, it's not even close.
That's a significant number.
It is. Worst actor, we have Johnny Depp's from Mordecai, Jamie Dornan, 50 Shades of Grey, Kevin James, Paul Blart, Adam Sandler, Cobbler, and Pixels. For me, I think that Jamie Dornan is the hands down winner of this award. He was so incredibly awful, bad, horrible, any kind of other. Oh my God, he was so terrible. And he's the main reason why this movie stunk.
We can probably stop the conversation here because that's the choice.
He is the
That's
choice.
the unanimous choice.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Cobbler, but I don't think that he belongs on there for Pixels.
First of all, you can't put Johnny Depp on a list for being a bad. 9 out of 10 times, that's not going to be his fault anyway.
He was pretty bad in that movie. He was really bad. And
the movie was bad.
He was bad. They could have made him good, but they made him bad, and he didn't help.
It's just a movie that shouldn't have been.
Gwyneth Paltrow was good. What's the other guy's name? Who's
Really?
Vision?
But she's on the worst.
Paul Bettany.
actress.
He was great. He was great. So, worst actresses. Katherine Heigl, Home Sweet Hell. I haven't seen it. Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades of Grey. Mila Kunis, Jupiter Ascending. Jennifer Lopez, The Boy Next Door. Gwyneth Paltrow, Mordecai. Channing Tatum, Jupiter Ascending.
I'll throw a vote to J-Lo because I saw that. Boy, she was bad. Oh, good Lord.
I didn't see Boy Next Door, and I didn't see Home Sweet Hell. So I'm going to just take those out. I'm going to say they belong in here just because I don't know.
Well, by the way, why is Channing Tatum stayed under worst actress?
It's awesome. I don't know why he's in there. That's hilarious.
You saw the Beyonce video. You saw the lip sync battle, and
no, I copied and pasted it, and this is what was on there. I think it's Mila Kunis.
Okay.
For a worst actress in Jupiter Ascending. So as far as the movies that I've seen, Mila Kunis is probably my favorite to win. Yeah. It's either no. Why is Channing Tatum on there?
It's Mila Kunis.
I know, but they're both in here.
Okay, I got Dakota Johnson, Katherine Heigl, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jennifer Lopez, and Mila Kunis.
Wow. I wonder maybe Jupiter. Maybe the way that I don't know. Maybe the ways I copied it off of.
He's in worst actor.
Oh, he is. Yeah. So I don't think he belongs in that either. So Mila Kunis, I think she was pretty bad in this. Dakota Johnson, I thought that she was the most redeemable quality of that movie, 50 Shades. Yep. So I don't understand why she's in this because she was good in that movie. It was a bad movie, but she was good in that movie.
Yeah.
And then Gwyneth Paltrow, I thought she was good enough not to get nominated. I mean, if there's other people that I could probably think of, I mean, oh man, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anybody, but as far as
Captain Phasma. Just like picking on her.
I guess so. All right.
FN2187.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So we are pretty much done today.
Turn in your blaster for inspection.
She did a great job.
Hey, just to let you know, Josh Gad actually got nominated for worst supporting actor in the Razzies. For both Pixels and...
He was great in Pixels.
Come on.
He was great in Pixels.
He was hilarious in Pixels.
He was great in Pixels, great in The Wedding Ringer. He was so good.
He's good in everything.
I don't understand their picks sometimes. I don't understand them.
Enough. Josh Gad gets a lifetime pass. He's Olaf, and that's it. Mm-hmm. It's a lifetime pass.
That's actually my least favorite role of his. But anyway, we'll move on, and we're going to say, please subscribe to us at YouTube, youtube.com/TheMovieHouseManiacs, Facebook, facebook.com/The CineBros.
Is there a Forgive Me for
Twitter? No, Forgive Me for saying.
All right. I had one, actually.
Oh, well, go ahead. You can do it when I come back to you. Okay. Twitter at The CineBros. You can follow me. You can follow Brian over at The Bry Man on Twitter.
Underscores, yes.
The
Bry Man.
Yeah. And so what's your Forgive Me for saying before we sign off?
So this is kind of falls under the guilty pleasure movies.
Yeah.
And this is a movie that I probably watched, no joke, probably about 7 or 8 times now this year. But Forgive Me for saying, I love A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's so good.
So good.
Isn't it not Mel Brooks? It is Mel Brooks-esque.
Awesome.
That's right, baby.
It's actually to the point now. Like we actually were watching it last night. So I'm working out last night. And I'm flipping through channels, and I'm like, "Oh, A Million Ways to Die in the West is on." And like my wife won't sit because she'll give me for like a lot of movies that I just tend to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
She won't give me crap on that one. She'll just kind of like sit there on the bed like on her iPad and be
my wife liked it too.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. My wife liked it too.
Dude, that movie is hilarious.
It is very underrated.
It got a massive bum rap.
Spaceballs was critically destroyed, didn't make any money at the box office, just like this movie. I think 20 years from now, people think you're going to be like, man, he did a pretty
20 years
funny
from
job.
now. 20 minutes from now.
I am on board.
Now!
I am on board.
Chad, I don't think is on board.
No.
Chad looks like he went overboard.
Yeah.
Him and Goldie Hawn
jumped
overboard.
So good.
Anyway. That was an overboard reference, by the way.
That was excellent. A great one. That's a great overboard. Yes, Kurt Russell was great in that movie.
Another good guilty pleasure movie.
That is a great movie. No, that is a good movie. That is good.
I think someone would probably put that in the guilty pleasure category. I I love it. So
that should have won an Oscar. Goldie Hawn, Best Actress.
Wouldn't it be cool if they had both won?
That would have been together. Great. Yeah. They never got married, right? They're just together.
That'd have been awesome because then they could have like showed up every year to the Oscars with their trophies. Just
All right, so you can find you at Twitter, at
Instagram,
_Bry_man. And you can find me obviously at the CineBros. That is pretty much it for our show, episode 32, CineTalk. That is it. We are done. We will see you guys at the movie soon. And up next, you're going to see later this week, we're going to have our best and worst films. I think it's our favorites and the cineplops of the year. So we're going to be doing that next, and that'll be coming with me and the Chadwick, the Chad, Chadnator.
El Chato.
He's always on the run. Should we start off the show with me like interviewing while we're eating tacos and drinking tequila?
Yes.
Do I really have to be Sean Penn? All right. We will see you guys at the movies again soon. Peace.
If you watch the show on YouTube, please click that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.